Welcome to the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. I'm your host, Jeff Ross, the caffeinated kangaroo from Down Under, here to help you navigate the wild world of social selling and AI mastery. Whether you're a frustrated affiliate marketer, an inspiring coach, or a seasoned network marketing pro, you're in the right place. And each week we'll be deep diving with key experts from the online business world, sharing their tips and tricks and stories to help you elevate your game. Plus, I'll be serving up some quick coaching episodes packed with actionable insights to keep you ahead of the curve. So grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and let's hop into another episode. Welcome to the journey of mastering the art of social selling and AI while balancing life as a laptop lifestyle legend. Let's get started and enjoy the show. Well, g'day everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show, and I've got my awesome friend here, Sam Hind from Auxano Marketing. And I've been following Sam now for, it must be close on a decade. You know, I saw when you first started some of those conversations we had back when I was running Ripple X Marketing way back then. And I've just seen you step up and shine, go through the evolution from, you know, starting out as a solopreneur to, you know, setting up your own agency with running a team and, you know, going to, you know, big events, you know, talking at some pretty big, decent events around the world, you know, on social media strategies and in the direct selling space. So for those who don't know, Sam Hind is the owner and founder of Auxano Marketing, and it's my absolute pleasure to be able to host this interview, Sam. So thank you very much for saying yes and jumping on board.
Oh, such a pleasure, Jeff. I'm excited to be here today, and I'm super passionate about this industry. So any opportunity to serve and help people grow their businesses, I'm all in.
Thank you very much. And so what I've seen in this space lately, especially with this whole AI revolution, and it is a revolution. It's something like the internet was in the 90s. And so I saw the space, saw the need to be able to put together a podcast, to be able to interview experts like yourself, to be able to serve our communities in this AI, but more importantly, the social selling space for network and affiliate marketers. Like I know both of us are in the game, and both of us are using social selling strategies to, you know, be able to support our teams and our networks. But I love to basically start here with sharing your story. You know, your hero's journey, like where you started, you know, where you are now, and all of the trials and tribulations to help you get where you are. And, you know, the challenge here is to share your story in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, good luck to me. Hey, I'll tell you really quickly. I've got a podcast, of course, which we were just talking about, and I was interviewing a founder of a direct selling company, one of the biggest companies in the US yesterday. And I had 30 minutes in my calendar for this podcast. And an hour and a half later, he finished telling his story. And in the meantime, I've like canceled 2 other meetings and text while he's chatting. So
Pivot.
yeah, I know. That's exactly right. Good thing everything's digital, right? So, look, the thing is, you know, it's very unique, the position that I'm in now. And Jeff, I remember, you know, meeting you and connecting with you back, you know, when I first set this business up, which was almost 10 years ago now. And I remember you were such an inspiration to me because you had built, you know, several businesses online using back then, you know, Facebook adverts. And I remember you and I sitting in my little office in another part of town, and you were sort of running me through a bunch of stuff and teaching me some things, because I guess, you know, this is a story I tell today, which is I'm an entrepreneur who is passionate about what I do, but I also sort of live that life of feeling like I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. No one wants to hear from me. And I know that so many of the people that I get to reach every day who are trying to grow a business of their own is also living that same walk where they're feeling like, am I good enough to do this? Do I have what it takes? You know, am I smart enough?
Yeah.
How do I compare with the rest of the world? And, you know, that's been my story for many years. I actually started my first direct selling business when I was 14 years old. I grew up alone with my dad, and, you know, we went through, you know, it was a really difficult time. My dad was a business owner. He was always looking for ways to get ahead and, you know, seemingly was never really able to, was always kind of struggling. And when I was 14 years old, I was sort of at that age where I desperately just wanted everything that any 14-year-old wanted back then, which was, you might remember the time, it was Levi jeans and Doc Martens shoes.
The
It was all
90s.
I wanted. The 90s. It was what I wanted. They were pretty expensive items back then. They still are now. I've still got my favorite Levi jeans on right now as we speak, because for me it's such a reminder of,
Yeah.
how far I've come. And I've got the Doc Martens sit next to my desk at home. But I started my first business because I wanted to have some financial freedom at 14. And there are very few industries you can step into, you can have a business in with very little, if no overhead at all, and really get rewarded on how hard you work. One of the things that I learned to do very early on, and by the time I was 16, by the way, I was one of the top 10 consultants in the company that I was with in Australia. And I learned to network. I learned how to network. I learned how to build relationships really quickly, how to create curiosity and intrigue, how to, most importantly, get people coming to me saying, how do I find out more? Because I knew how to tailor what I had to the needs of other people. And this was something I became very good at very quickly. And I moved into a marketing and sales career where I was for 11 years. And it was off the back of that when I first met you, as I was transitioning out of that career and into my own
Remember
business.
that.
I saw a space where business owners that I was working with every day was struggling with this whole social media thing. And it was something that fascinated me because it brought into the forefront networking. It is, it's kind of like networking on steroids, and connecting with people and building relationships is what I love. It's what I do. I suddenly saw this opportunity to reach people we didn't ever get the ability to reach before. Like, now I could speak to someone on the other side of the globe. I could, message somebody that I hadn't spoken to since high school and had no other way of connecting with. Opened up the opportunity. But a lot of business owners saw it as something to be overwhelmed by, scared of, they felt left behind with. And, I'm going to be really honest, Jeff, like when I met you, that one of my challenges was, and for many years was, I don't feel like I'm tech savvy.
Yeah.
But I can see an incredible opportunity that I want to help people tap into. And if nothing else, I understand what it is to feel like I don't get it, because I had to learn this myself. And so in that first year alone, I spent over $50,000 learning from the best people in the world. I traveled to America, and I do that now on a regular basis. Learning is a critical part of what I do. As things move pretty darn fast. I've come from a place of not being tech savvy, or at least feeling like I'm not. I have had to pull on the resources around me. I've had to learn. But now, we're actually Direct Selling Association members in Australia and the US. We are not tied with any particular direct selling company. So I'm not a consultant or distributor anymore. What I do is I work with companies all over the globe to help teach consultants. So my job is, if you are running a direct selling business and you want to grow your business, I help you do that using social media. So we simply educate now, we teach, we gain the knowledge as fast as we can, we teach it as fast as we can. But we're also connected with, literally dozens and dozens of companies all around the globe. We know what top leaders in the industry are doing that's working. And we're able to recommunicate that. And the beauty of us being involved with so many different companies, we're seeing all the things that work and don't work, not just one or two things that one company might be using. And so we're able to help to grow the industry as a whole. And again, this industry changed my life. It's changed yours, I know, because I've seen so many amazing things it's done for you and your beautiful family. And so I'm really passionate about helping other people get that same benefit. And so if we can help people learn to grow online and grow an amazing business, that's what we do.
And as a coach now, stepping into this space, one of my taglines is basically helping people get out of Sucksville and help them to get to Awesome Town.
Very Australian.
Australian, yes, it's the brand. It's very Australian.
I feel like if I showed up on my podcast doing that, because we've probably got about 80% US listeners. What?
No, I have to explain things all the time, but they love it. They really hook right into it.
Yeah.
So, and I find myself, using AI to come up some really clever copy with the AI, with the Australian slang. And what it does is it starts conversations, and they're loving it. So it's like taking that content from being aware to that engagement level. And that's when relationships happen, right? So, cool. So, let's shift gears. Let's talk about this AI space for a second, because you either love it or hate it. And or you're in the overwhelm.
Both.
You just don't know where to go. So where are you? What camp are you in?
Look, I'm in both camps. I think Social media has been a big thing, organic has been a big
Mm-hmm.
thing. AI is a big thing and it is getting bigger. And, we've done a lot of work of recent times, with, again, some of the world's top experts on AI. We were in San Diego earlier again this year at Social Media Marketing World, connecting with a few people in this space to hear about what's coming, what we need to be aware of. I'm in two spaces with this because, again, I'm going to come from the stance of we've got thousands of people in our memberships that we're working with every day that are trying to grow their business in this space. And I know for a fact that many of them feel completely overwhelmed and left
Yep.
behind by this AI space. But what I also know is it's an unbelievably amazing tool that, when used correctly, enhance who you are. But
Yes.
when used incorrectly, and I'll tell you exactly how I think it gets used incorrectly, it can totally be the downfall of your
Yep.
business. And the way that I think people use it incorrectly is they use it to replace themselves.
100%.
And that's where I think it's all about educating people
Yep.
in the right way to use it. We've recently done some masterclasses in some really cool ways to use AI. And as you know, if used to, provide you with useful information and as a gap analysis tool, man, it can save you so much time. But we've got to, it's not to be used to replace you. I've
Yep.
started talking about something I call humanology, which is like, if you can
Things.
humanize things, use AI to make you an even better version of you.
Some of the terms I've been throwing around at the moment, it's like it's too AI-ish. You've got to humanize it.
I also like to call it average intelligence, average information.
Yeah.
I've got a few other things I think AI stands for.
No, I get it, but it's an interesting space. Like it is a revolution happening. I believe it's something like, the internet of the 90s, and it is going to shift the game. It already, but it's like the old pendulum swing. We've got to go from the left to the right to find the powerful middle ground. You're right. It's not a replacement by any means. Like one of the taglines and mantras we have here at the Laptop Lifestyle Dads community is, it's AI plus our heart equals our superpower. And basically the story I've been using at the moment is, think of a hammer. Like I could put that hammer in a builder's hand and I'm going to probably get a house. But if I put that hammer in a master builder's hand, I'll probably get a cathedral. Like it's garbage in, garbage out, put great stuff in and leverage it. It can get some really cool stuff out of it.
It's super funny you use that analogy. I'm a big analogy fan, by the way, because I believe that when you paint a word picture, it makes it so much easier for people to understand. And so, I'm always looking for great analogies, and I know our community, get super excited when I'm like, I've got a new one for you guys. It's funny you bring that one up because I was speaking at the Direct Selling Association conference in America, in Utah, in March. And when I was there, I used a hammer analogy. Here's what the analogy was. You want to hear it?
Go.
So I was talking about AI, ironically, and I was trying to explain to them that when you try to do everything well, you do absolutely nothing well, right? When you try to do everything, you do nothing well. And we were talking about how there are all of these tools out there. You've got, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter. You got reels, you got stories, you got profiles, you got pages, you got groups, and then you add AI into the mix, and everyone's going, what's the next shiny object?
Yeah. Squirrel.
Yeah. And we're not getting anything right. We're not actually growing our business. We don't have a strategy and a plan in place.
That's it, yeah.
And so I use the analogy, it's kind of like with a hammer. Over the centuries, a hammer has been used for many, many different things. But you don't have to know and be good at using a hammer for all of the different things, falling a tree to chiseling a rock to building a house to building a tree house or a cubby house, we would call it in Australia, tree house in America for our American friends. You don't need to know all of those in order to be able to use a hammer effectively. A builder can come in and build a house and change lives, but they don't know how to chisel a rock, right, into a statue.
Beautiful.
And you don't need to know all of the ways to use AI to be effective with it. You need one way that works for you in your business that gets you growth that's going to be effective. So I guess what I was trying to get at with that is, what's your one way of using a hammer that is going to be effective for you, but don't try and use it for all of its uses because that's not relevant.
Yeah. Go become a master, not a jack of all trades, and just very focused, follow one course until successful. Yeah, love it. So I know, and been in my circles at the moment. Facebook algorithm has shifted, and there's some big organic reach things that the game shifted, right? And what it's shifted to is now, from my understanding, is the algorithm for Facebook is now driven by AI, and one of
Yeah.
the things that it's now looking for is it's looking for AI. The really sort of subtle, well, not
Yeah.
so subtle, discerning patterns and flags, like
Mhm.
with the chat GPT copy and paste job, you can see the asterisk, emoji, and then an emoji
Yeah.
after every paragraph, dot, dot, dot. So I know this is your jam. Like, this is your space that you know a lot about. So I
Yeah.
love
How long have we got?
probably 20 minutes, but I love to dive in here in a very short snapshot, for our listeners here, and just give them some tips to be able to help them to, for better words, humanize their content. Like AI, what we teach here is AI is a very powerful tool to help you build your personal brand and do the market research and help you with your content marketing from a customer value journey and service, like adding value, like real value,
Yep.
not just fake value. And one of the things that we always say too is, you can't replace this. You cannot replace the human to human engagement, the human to
No.
human interaction. I don't care who you are. Trust me, I've tried. And you cannot do it because people can see through the fakeness. They can see through the BS. And so when you can be just authentic, be real, and add value to a community and serve them, I know that's what Facebook are really after. But I love to deep dive into this a little bit, just with your sort of knowledge and expertise and wisdoms.
Mhm.
How would someone who's using in a bit of an amateur style, and call it what it is, but how can we support that person to empower them and equip them to be able to help, give them what they need as a tool to be able to help play the game with Facebook?
Yeah. I want to start with a little bit of background knowledge, if that's okay, because I think, in order to be able to be successful in this space, you first need to know what's going on and being armed with knowledge. Now, I will, by the way, be the first to say knowledge is not power. It's potential power. It's only power when we pick it up and use it. And, I'm just going to encourage people. I talk about lifting up the weights in the gym. If you get given by your personal trainer a plan in the gym to go and lose weight or gain muscle, and they give you the plan and they tell you what to do, and you sit there and you stare at the weight on the ground, and then you get mad at them because it's not working, they're going to say to you, well, you have to pick the weight up. Me
Got to
telling you how to
implement.
do it isn't going to help you. But also, and this is a really important one for social media, again, which we're dealing with a lot of people that understand the whole losing weight journey. So I'm going to use that as my analogy here for a second. But, you're not going to go on a weight loss journey and eat 7 apples in one day. But you know that if you eat an apple every day,
Mm,
going to have a better impact for you
mm.
than eating them all at once. And it's kind of like that with social media. People like to show up and kind of just, give it a go for a short period of time. And then they get kind of mad when it doesn't work. And then they come to you, Jeff, or to me, and they go, you told me what to do and it didn't work. And you'll ask the question, well, how many times have you lifted the weight or eaten the apple?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, I did it, 5 times or 7 times. You're like, great. Consistency is key. And so if you're using social media to grow your business, you've got to be consistent because, it's that one time that you're about to walk away and stop that you might have been like seconds away from getting the breakthrough that you
Yeah.
needed. Now, I want to talk about unconnected distribution because you tapped onto something just there that's really important to understand. And one
Mm.
of the changes that's happened with Facebook in the last 2 years is a shift in the way we're distributed content. And you alluded to the fact it is being delivered through AI, and that is true, but it's something we call unconnected distribution.
Mm.
So in the past, and everybody was delivered content based on their connection. So it was
Mm.
either you were being delivered content for one of 4 reasons. Number one, because it was a personal profile that you are friends with,
Mm.
a business page that you follow, a group that you're a member of, or an ad that you were targeted by. They were the 4 ways you were delivered. But a fifth has been introduced in the last 2 years, and that was by a good friend, Mark Zuckerberg, who decided he wanted to shift things up.
Good on,
And he
Zach.
said, we're going to go with unconnected distribution. And so now 27, it's almost 28% of all content on Facebook is delivered to you through unconnected sources. So you'll
Mhm.
notice that a lot of your feed is coming from, and people are going, why am I seeing all these people I don't follow?
I
These
don't even know who they are.
people. It's unconnected distribution. And the way that it's worked out is that it is using AI with the algorithm, which is deciding through everything it knows about you. And remember, it knows more about you probably than you know about yourself. We're not going to get onto the scary side of that right now. Let's just focus where we're focused, which is, how I'm getting my content. So the thing is that they know everything about you, which means that they also know what you're interested in, what problems in life, what you want to solve, what bothers you, what frustrates you, all of that. And so because of that, it's using it to deliver you content it knows you want to see with the intention of keeping you on the platform for longer and more frequently, basically.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, so the thing that we've got to keep in mind here is if artificial intelligence is delivering us content based on what it knows about us, it therefore opens up an opportunity, which is, Jeff, your content is now getting delivered to more people you weren't connected to for in the past, if you wanted to reach people you weren't currently connected with, you had to pay for that privilege. No longer the case, but it does bring into play some problems. And that is that if you are not delivering content that the audience wants to see, you're going to be seen by even less people, because now not only are you not guaranteed to reach the people you're connected with, you're also not going to be delivered to people you're not connected with, for sure. So it makes it very important, of course, that if we're going to use AI, and I'll be very clear about this. If you're going to use it, you don't have to use it to be successful. But if you're going to use it as a tool, use it effectively to reach more of the people that you've got an opportunity to reach outside of your existing network. And so how can people do that well? Well, the first question is know who you're reaching. My favorite way to use AI is to get clear on that.
Yeah.
Because AI will help you build a customer persona that helps you better understand who you're reaching and create content for that person. One of the prompts, and I'd be super happy to provide you with this prompt to give your listeners if you put show notes with this, or pop it on social media. I don't mind if you want to share it with people. But we've got a little prompt that we use. It's called the persona prompt, and it helps you figure out exactly who your ideal customer is. But also we ask it the question, tell me about their hopes, dreams, desires, worries. The idea is to learn more about them so that we can deliver them more quality content. So it's not about asking first, how do I get it to help me make good content? It's about getting it to help you first understand more about who you're delivering that content to. Remember, it knows everything about every user, so it's in our best interest to also know as much as we can possibly know about our ideal customer.
Yeah. And like, I know back to your marketing nerd days when I had my full service agency there before COVID, the number one thing businesses struggled with and where they were spinning their wheels with is they weren't niched down enough. Their message wasn't nailed, and it definitely wasn't mastered. And they had no idea of who they were actually marketing to or why they were marketing to them. And so that's been true throughout the decades, through the centuries, for anything type of marketing. So and I know what used to go into helping develop customer personas and the research and the audience insights and all of that we used to use before, ChatGPT and Claude or AI. Now I can put a prompt together and I can get it done in like 10 seconds, 10 minutes. So like, it's actually funny you say that, dive into nailing your niche and getting clear on your audience, because just actually come off the back of day 2 for our 5-day boot camp that we're currently in. And that's what we do. Day 2, it's all about going through, getting clear on your niche, not just the demographical data, but the psychographical data, the stuff that triggers people and keep them awake at night. And once you understand that, you can definitely serve from that and add value to your audience from that. That's attractive. That's what brings it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you can do, and if you're using ChatGPT, for example, and you put this prompt in and you ask it to help you create a customer persona, tell me their hopes, dreams, desires, stresses, worries, blah, 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 all of that, and that's all in the prompt, you can then continue talking to it and training it. And one of the things that you can say is, and I wanted to mention today the importance of story selling. And
story matters.
Storytelling. So, a lot of people in any business, by the way, and I've just had a really great friend who's got a business, came in and saw me and said, how do I advertise my business? And I said, by not advertising your business. He said, what do you mean? And I said, well, what do you do on Facebook? And he said, oh, I scroll, I look at reels. I said, right, so you entertain yourself. He said, yeah.
Social.
And I said, what happens when someone advertises to you? And he said, oh, I just scroll past it. I said, what does it make you feel? And he goes, oh, I'd not really thought about that. And the thing is that people will not remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And so if your focus is on how do I impact people where they are, where are my customers? What are they doing? And how do I show up, in their world right now? And that's where story is so powerful and
Yeah.
so important. And so sharing little pieces of that story along the way, and it doesn't mean you have to overshare.
Mm.
And I'll give you another analogy with this in a sec, which is the car crash, but we'll come back there. So just mention it to me if I forget. But the importance, of course, is using your story, and your story doesn't have to be. Usually when I first talk about this, people that I'm doing coaching with will say, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to share my life story." Like, you don't have to share your life story. You've got a story from yesterday.
Every day's a story.
Every day's a story. And, one of my first mentors, and I'm really passionate about encouraging people to have coaches and mentors. So please make sure, if you're growing a business of any kind, and you, for me, were a mentor at one point, Jeff,
Yeah.
you've got to have somebody in your world that can keep you accountable, but that you can also be inspired by, that grows you. And that will change as the seasons change. But it's really important. This person said to me, note your stories down. Like, when you have a conversation with someone, or you think of an analogy, or you
Mm.
think of a story, or you just, you have a little pondering, even a thought,
Yeah.
put it in the notes in your phone,
Yeah.
because you will forget those little things. It's like the little wins. You forget the little wins in life because they get eclipsed by all the big things that go on in your world, right? Remember the little things, note them down. And I am in the habit of always noting these little things down, because those are the things on social media that help you build that trust. And people are not buying your products. They're not buying your business. They're buying you.
That's it.
So back to what I was trying to say here in a very long-winded way. I'm sorry, Jeff.
You're right.
Is AI can help you finesse that.
Yes.
So you write your story, use your words, use your personality, use your passion. But then after you've put your prompt in, put that caption into AI and say to it, can you help me shorten this? Help me
Yep.
finesse this. Help me make this more interesting to Karen or whoever the persona. It will name your persona, by the way. So whatever name it
That's
gives,
cool.
just go.
I remember that back way when we first met. I used to teach people that, make sure you put a name on your persona.
Name your persona. Well, ChatGPT does this. So if you say, create me a persona, it will name it. By the way, any man associated with the persona is always Alex, just a little FYI. Don't know why. She's married to Alex, or, her child is called Alex. I don't know why. It's got favorite names, but it will name it. And so you can come back and say, tell me, how would you make this caption interesting and engaging for Karen or whoever the persona is that it throws back at you. By the way, you can ask it to rename it if you don't like the name, just FYI.
You
But
can
do you want to mention?
a little bit of nudge and just correct it.
Yeah, just always correct AI, by
Yeah.
the way. AI is not always correct. This is a common misconception of
Yes.
people, is they assume it's right. I have told it it's wrong so many times.
Oh, yeah.
I actually recently I asked it for a graph. I wanted it to create a time zone graph for me. And I said, can you create me a graph that's a downloadable Excel or an Excel download that I can print? And it said, of course I can. Tell me what you want. And so I told it what I wanted. I went through it, had to correct it 100 times. And then at the very end, I said, great, give me the downloadable file. And it went, I can't do that. I can't give you downloadable files. So I wrote back and said, yes, you can. And it went, so you're quite correct. Let me try that again. And out it comes. And I just thought, people assume because it's a computer that it's always got it right.
Yeah. One of the tips I've been teaching people now is treat it like it's a two-way conversation. Get it to ask you questions, you ask it questions, and together you'll meet in the middle and you'll get there.
Yeah. And don't forget to tell the AI who it is, like tell it how it's behaving. A really cool thing that you can do is actually bring in multiple different thinking caps by telling it to be a panel.
Yeah, act
So
like.
act like a panel. So you can actually say to it, I want you to act like a panel of, let's say, marketers. And, you've got your marketing person, your logistics person, and your, CEO. I want you to have a debate about the best way to X. And you can see it conversing with itself to work out, there's so many cool things you can do. I mean, this is a little bit more on the advanced side, but just remember that you can ask it to behave a certain way. So be a social media marketing expert, be an expert content creator that knows how to get the attention of its ideal target customer. And now give me a post.
Yeah. And one other tip just to add to that too is I even say, like, act like you're working for Russell Brunson or you're Murray Smith, or, you know, like, just give it that next little level flavor to sort of help bring in that mix as well. But look, we could go for probably hours on this conversation. Yeah. We'll definitely have to come back for another episode, but just a couple of highlight points there, like the stories, collecting stories along the way. I remember my good friend Tim O'Neill, senior pastor of the Tailray Centre, or he was the senior pastor, retired now.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends and mentors in that space, and Sarah and I have just started an online church. Sure, if you're aware of that. Or to say today's discipleship community, and we've been using AI to help us to get the mission statement right, the values right, get all those core fundamental foundations right, and all that sort of thing. But we've also been, collecting these amazing stories along the way, and like so far, we started 3 months ago. We're in 8 different countries. We've got 70 members now. We've got our first baptism happening. We've got 3 small groups happening. Like, it's just doors opening left, right, and center, and it's definitely a Holy Spirit movement. But AI has supported me in because I'm now running these messages on a Saturday morning to be able to get into Bible references. And I actually just came across a connection by the name of Joe Thompson. He's actually the founder of Easy Messenger, and he's created this custom GPT that basically takes the entire Bible and basically helping pastors and people putting sermons together to be able to put a message together and just take all the reference points and done in 10 seconds. Obviously, fact check it. You've got to add your own stories into it all and all that sort of thing. But it's definitely been a godsend in helping you streamline that process.
Yeah. So, there's so many awesome tools out there for sure. And the question is just, what's the right tool for you and how you use it? I want to just quickly mention one last thing when it comes to all of this. And, I mentioned before about the car crash. Be very, very mindful about how you're showing up on social media in general, because the thing is that we can get attention in lots of different ways. And I talk about the story selling thing. Your stories are really important, but remember as well what I said about, people will remember not what you said, but how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And, like with a car accident, if you're driving along the highway and you see a car crash, everyone is going to look at that car crash. It's going to get heaps of attention. No one's running into the middle of that car crash. And so when it comes to doing business, you might get attention on social media. You might have loads of followers. You got to ask yourself, how am I going to do it the right way so that people are actually trusting me? They're going to do business with me. So not all attention is good attention. So, again, create a persona and make sure that you're tapping into the things that your persona cares about, and use ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you're using to help you better connect with that person for you. And remember, it's not about it writing it for you. It's about it finessing who you are. So do it the other way around. Create it, or at least come up with some basics, and then ask it to help you finesse that and make it better. Because, human first, right? You've got humans at the other end of the computer screen, humans at the other end of the mobile phone, not computers. So, be a human. That's what people want. That's what they need right now.
Even more so than ever, right? Yeah, the world's starving for love and connection. And, I got mentored by Ryan Dice there back in 2017. And one of his key things that he always used to say to us was H to H marketing, even way back then. So it's human to human marketing, and focusing on that engagement aspect of it. Heart to heart is what I call it. And it's, AI just is an enhancement. It just serves that need. But it basically enhances good stuff, but it also enhances bad stuff. And so anyhow, as I said, we probably talk about this for hours.
I think we could.
Absolute pleasure for you, jumping on this interview. I love geeking out with other social selling coaches in the network marketing space. It's so cool. This is a fun game. Love it. So for our listeners, if they want to, reach out to Sam and connect with you and get into your circle of influence, how can they do that?
We've got lots of ways. We've obviously got a podcast. So if you are growing a direct selling business, so if you're in MLM, network marketing, party plan, any of those types of businesses, you can check out our podcast. It's called the Direct Selling Accelerator Podcast. But we've also got a free Facebook group called Social Media for Direct Sellers with Greg and Sam. We'd love to see you in there. And we share a lot of the latest Facebook tips and updates. Or of course, you can just simply follow us at Auxano on either Facebook or Instagram. We'd love to see you in any of those locations.
Beautiful. And I'm a member of actually Sam's free group, and some of the information that she shares there is like, one of the first people to bring it to my attention. I've been following Sam for a little while now. And, I just, thank you for the coaching and the mentoring that you've given me over the last few years without realizing it from afar, and really, really appreciate it and very grateful for, jump on this interview with you today. So thank you.
Yeah,
Just
thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Hey legends, it's Jeff Rossi, your caffeinated kangaroo from Down Under. In our latest episode of Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show, I sat down with my good friend Samantha Hind from Auxano Marketing. We dive into her incredible journey in direct selling, starting from the age of 14 to becoming a leading expert in social selling and AI mastery arena. Discover how AI tools like ChatGPT can enhance your marketing efforts and the importance of building an authentic personal brand. Sam also shares valuable insights into Facebook's new unconnected distribution algorithm. So make sure you tune in for more actionable tips and inspiring stories just like this one. Stay caffeinated, stay legendary, and we'll see you on the next episode. Now for some exciting news. Don't forget to grab our new book that just launched, Social Selling and AI Mastery for Network Marketers. It's jam-packed with actionable insights and success stories to help you to elevate your game. And whilst you're here, make sure you've joined our Facebook group, the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Legends, Social Selling and AI Mastery for Network and Affiliate Marketers. This is your go-to place to transform your approach to online business with cutting-edge strategies and practical tips. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to up your game, this is for you. So why join? Well, it's simple. We're here to empower and equip you to achieve true freedom and success in your business. Learn how to balance the chaos of the mum-dad life while mastering social selling and AI. So go ahead, hit subscribe button. Don't miss any future episodes. If you've loved what you heard, leave us a review and share with your fellow legends. Let's grow our community together, stay caffeinated, stay inspired, and keep making memories. Cheers, legends, and we'll see you on the next episode.